Good morning, dear children of class 6, and I am happy to welcome you all to today's zoology class. Do you remember the name of the lesson, what we are studying in zoology? What is it about? It is about the respiratory system, right? So, we have studied about the parts of the respiratory system and what are all the functions of the respiratory system we have already studied. In today's class, we are going to learn about certain respiratory diseases. So, what is the topic for today? Respiratory diseases. So, in our respiratory system, we do get many diseases. So, about those diseases only we are going to learn in today's class. So, let's see what are all the diseases. So, before learning the diseases, let's learn to define what is a respiratory disease. For any term, there will be a definition, right? So, similarly, for respiratory diseases, there is a definition called respiratory diseases are the diseases which affect your respiratory system. So, you have studied many parts of the respiratory system like trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, lungs, everything you have studied, right? So, in those parts, if there is a disease, then those diseases are called respiratory diseases. So, what is the definition for respiratory diseases? Respiratory diseases are the diseases which affect your respiratory system. In some way, your respiratory system is affected by some disease, then it is called respiratory diseases. In your textbook, there are 4 examples given for respiratory diseases. What are they? Asthma, bronchitis, tuberculosis and pneumonia. So, about these 4 diseases you are going to learn in detail in today's class. What are the symptoms and when all these diseases are caused, and how will you know that you have these diseases? About them all we will be learning in today's class. So, the first disease explained is asthma. For asthma, what happens is there is inflammation in the airway. What is inflammation? Inflammation means a swelling. What is inflammation? It is swelling. Some part of the body is swollen. There is a thickness in that portion alone, then it is called a swelling. So, what is given? There is inflammation in the airway. Which is your airway? You know how does air enters? Air enters through this opening. You have nose here and air enters through this opening. And what is the name of this opening? This is called as trachea. Do you remember? This is trachea and these are bronchi. Trachea is branched into bronchi. Do you remember? So, this is the air opening and this portion is swollen. It is bigger in size than the normal size. So, what happens? There is a tube for the air to pass in and that tube has become swollen now or inflamed now. So, what will happen? Obviously, the tube's size will become smaller, which means the passage through which the air can pass will become narrow or smaller in size because of the inflammation. Okay, so usually you breathe some amount of air, and when the air is restricted, when there is the narrow tube and air cannot enter properly, what will happen? You will have difficulty in breathing, right? So, the inflammation in the airway, it happens periodically. What is periodically? Like it is not once in the lifetime. Frequently the person with asthma will be getting such an inflammation in the respiratory system and he or she will have difficulty in breathing. So, there is inflammation in the airway and it is periodical, which means repeatedly it is happening. And as I told you, the air passage becomes narrow. This tube, no, it becomes narrow in size because it is inflamed or swollen in nature. And what are the symptoms? The symptoms are breathing difficulty. As I told you, since the tube is now smaller in size, the person will have difficulty in breathing and that is called wheezing. You must have heard this word, no? If you have older people at home, they may have wheezing. So, when a person cannot breathe normally, when he or she has difficulty in breathing, it is called as wheezing. So since it is narrow, there is difficulty in breathing and it is called as wheezing. And what is the reason when a person will get this disease called asthma? Whenever he or she is exposed to allergic substances. What are allergic substances? Some are allergic to dust, some are allergic to pollen grains. What are pollen grains? In flowers like hibiscus flower, all you have round yellow color ball like structures in the flower, no, that is called pollen. So some are allergic to pollen and some are allergic to chemicals. So if a person is exposed to either dust, pollen or chemicals, who has allergy, see every day we are exposed to dust, pollen or chemicals, no, but each one of us do not get this asthma. So people who are allergic to these substances will be getting asthma. So what have we studied about asthma? Asthma is the inflammation in the airway. Which is the airway? So this is the airway. If there is inflammation, what will happen? The air passage will become narrow in size, smaller in size, which will lead to difficulty in breathing and it is called wheezing. What may be the reason for asthma? It may be allergic substances, which may be dust, pollen grains or chemicals. So this is about asthma. So now we learn about the next disease called bronchitis. So bronchitis is, see you have a word bronchus, right? So which is the bronchus here? This is the bronchus. This is trachea and this is the bronchus, right? You have two, it is bronchi. So this is trachea and this is bronchi. So in the disease called as bronchitis, there is inflammation in the bronchus. So in the previous disease asthma, we have learned there is inflammation in your respiratory pathway, mainly in the trachea region, whereas in the disease called bronchitis, see ultimately in the respiratory diseases, the symptom is going to be difficulty in breathing. The person with respiratory diseases will be having difficulty in breathing. But what causes that difficulty in breathing? Based on that only you have different names for the diseases. Say for example, for asthma I told you there is inflammation in the trachea, whereas in bronchitis there is inflammation in the bronchus. But what will be the result? Ultimately the person will have difficulty in breathing. That is going to be the symptoms of the disease, of any respiratory disease. The person will have difficulty in breathing, but the reasons for the difficulty in breathing will vary. Say for example, in the case of bronchitis, as I told you, there is inflammation in the bronchus, not in the trachea. In the bronchus there is inflammation. Again, whenever a part of your body is inflamed, it will become, the tube will become narrow in size. When the tube becomes narrow in size, only little air can pass through the tube, right? So what will happen? The person cannot breathe properly. So in bronchitis you have two main symptoms. Number one, there is inflammation in the bronchus, and number two, there is mucus. Okay, mucus develops. It is a sticky fluid like substance. When you get cold or you get mucus in the nose, no? So the same mucus is developed, but where it is developed? It is developed inside the bronchus of a person. So what will happen if there is mucus in the bronchus or in your lung region? The person will feel to cough, right? So the symptoms is long lasting cough, which means it doesn't end up in 1 or 2 days. For many days the person will be having cough. The bronchitis patients will have cough for a longer duration, long lasting cough along with mucus. And also, just like asthma, the person with bronchitis will also have wheezing. What is wheezing? Again it is breathing difficulty. And also there is chest tightness. What is chest tightness? It is some discomfort in the chest region. The person doesn't feel normal. He feels some tightness in the chest, some discomfort in the chest region. And since there is mucus for longer duration in the bronchus, what happens is other infections like bacterial infections and viral infections also start developing within the person. So very dangerous disease it is. It may even become chronic. Chronic means it will remain for many years also because of these infections. So initially mucus develops, and because of the secondary infections like other bacterial infections or viral infections can also develop in the case of bronchitis. And what is the reason a person can get bronchitis? There should be a reason, no? If there is a disease developing, there will be some possible reasons. So what may be the reasons? Due to exposure to smoke, dust or air pollution. See, now our earth is fully polluted, no? The air is polluted mainly. So we take it for granted. We do not take it as a serious issue, but see how dangerous it is. It causes even bronchitis and asthma and many respiratory diseases which may lead to death. So we'll try to keep our environment with less pollution. So the next disease is pneumonia. Pneumonia, no, it is actually a bacterial infection. The name of the bacteria is called Klebsiella pneumoniae. It is not in your book, just for your knowledge I am telling you. Clear? So you just know that it is a bacterial infection. In the other two cases, what did you see? They were just inflammation in the trachea or inflammation in the bronchus, you have studied, right? So this pneumonia disease is a bacterial infection. It is caused by a bacteria. When a person gets this infection, what happens? No? There is fluid or pus developed in the alveoli. Which is the alveoli? You have already studied in the respiratory system structure. When we studied, you have studied that the bronchus contains small air pockets called alveoli. Do you remember? So these air pockets are only infected in the case of pneumonia. So what did I tell you? Some bacteria called as Klebsiella pneumoniae infects the lungs, mainly the alveoli, and because there is infection, see when you get a wound, no, you will ultimately develop pus in that region. If you have a big wound for longer days, pus develops, right? So similarly, when bacteria is in the alveoli or in your air pockets for many days, what will happen? A fluid or pus-like structure develops inside the alveoli. Okay, so what are the symptoms? How will you know that you have pneumonia? The person's airway will choke, and along with the fever. In the other two diseases, no, what did we study? Asthma and bronchitis, right? So in those cases all you do not get fever, but pneumonia will cause high fever and chills. What is chills? Even if you cover yourself with a blanket, you will feel very cold, no? That is called chills. Very high fever along with chills. And the other usual symptoms of respiratory diseases. What are the other symptoms? You will have difficulty in breathing because the airway is choked with this fluid. So you have extra fluid inside the air pocket or the alveoli, right? So it is not easy for the person to breathe. So the airway is choked. And also phlegm. Phlegm means a liquid in your respiratory tract which will remain for many years or many days together. It is called as phlegm. You have to pronounce it as phlegm. PH is sounding like F, right? So phlegm is the pronunciation. So this phlegm is the yellow color mucus which is very thick and it can remain for many years together. So what we have studied about pneumonia? Pneumonia is a bacterial infection which will occur in the alveoli, and because of the bacterial infection it results in the formation of fluid or pus, and because you have pus in the alveoli, that is in your respiratory tract, you feel like coughing, it is persistent, and also you get fever and chills, and there is a phlegm which is a dark yellow color mucus structure because of pneumonia. So these are all the symptoms of the disease called as pneumonia. Okay, the last disease explained in your book is about tuberculosis. You must have heard about the word TB, right? So TB is the short form of the disease called as tuberculosis. What happens in TB? It is again a bacterial infection similar to the disease called pneumonia. TB is also a bacterial infection caused by a bacteria called as Mycobacterium tuberculosis. You need not memorize the name, just for your information I am telling you. Clear? So again it is a bacterial disease, and to who it will infect? It will infect people with low immunity, which means their immune system is not good, and also those who have malnutrition. What is malnutrition? Malnutrition means their nutrition levels are very poor. They do not take a balanced diet. Poor people, no, who cannot eat properly, who do not have sufficient food to eat, who do not eat healthy food. So they all suffer from malnutrition. To those people easily it is affected, because their immunity also will be very poor. So though this bacteria will exist in the environment, it will affect only certain people, because only those who have low immunity will be easily infected by this disease. Clear? So what will happen? Which part of the body is affected? Lungs is affected. Where is your lungs? This pink color region is the lungs, right? So the lungs is affected in the case of TB. And what will be the symptom? The symptom will be, the person will be coughing, and along with blood. See, when a person coughs, he will get blood along with the cough. That is the main symptom for TB. Usual cough, all we don't get blood, right? But in the case of TB, when a person coughs repeatedly, he will be spitting blood. So how can this be treated? This can be treated in severe cases with the help of antibiotics. Even when you have fever, for like a week or more than a week, if you have, doctors prescribe you antibiotics, right? Similarly for tuberculosis also, it can be cured when you take in antibiotics. Clear? So what have we studied about tuberculosis? Tuberculosis is a disease which is generally called as TB, and who it will affect? It will affect only people who have low immunity or poor nutrition, that is malnutrition. So which part of the body it will affect? It is going to affect the lungs. And what is the symptom? How will you know that a person has TB? He will be coughing so much repeatedly, he will be coughing until he spits out the blood with the mucus. So these are all the symptoms of the disease called as tuberculosis. So next we are going to learn about the effects of air pollution on respiratory system. So we have learned many reasons for respiratory diseases, right? So what all reasons we have learned? We have learned that allergens will cause respiratory diseases, or else bacterial infection will cause respiratory diseases, or else the pollutants will cause respiratory. What is pollutant? Dust or smoke is all pollutant, which is not a usual substance of the earth. It is added extra to the earth, right? The earth was not created along with pollution, but we human beings have done so much of pollution or impurities or additional substances which was not existing before. So this is pollution. So this topic is the effects of air pollution on respiratory system. How air pollution affects your respiratory system, or how it causes respiratory diseases. This is the last topic given in your book. So what are the causes of air pollution? We will learn first. What all can cause air pollution? So what we do, we have so much of vehicles, 1 or 2 cars we have every house, no? So because of the number of vehicles has increased, we get more air pollution. So vehicles will release out so much of pollutants. This smoke and gas, will have so much of gases like carbon monoxide, all it is given out, which is not good for us. So from vehicle exhaust we get air pollution. Then from crackers, even now Diwali is nearing, right? So you can limit the crackers what you burn, because again and again we are polluting the earth. For fun we can have, but it should be in a limit. So crackers will also release out pollution. It will create the air to pollute. And then burning of garbages. So the waste, what we use, sometimes we burn, that also will pollute the air. Garbage means the waste. and also dust generated in the construction site. So when constructing buildings, all dust is generated, dust is produced. Now when you build a house or a building, dust is produced, and that dust will mix with the air, again it will cause air pollution. Clear? So these are all the causes of air pollution. Next we learn what is present in this. So repeatedly I am telling air pollution, no? What gases are exactly present in a polluted air, we learn in this slide. So what all is present in a polluted air? Of course you will have dust, you will have smoke, and CO, which means it is carbon monoxide. The major gas which pollutes the air is CO, which is carbon monoxide. So apart from dust and smoke, you have carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, then ground level ozone. What is this ground level ozone? The ozone layer which is immediately around the surface of the earth is described as ground level ozone. So that is also a gas which pollutes the environment. And PM 2.5 and PM 10. What is this PM 2.5 and PM 10? Which means particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size or particulate matter which is 10 micrometer in diameter, which means particles which are very small, which is 2.5 micrometer in diameter or less than 10 micrometer in diameter are called particulate matter, which is considered as a air pollutant. So what are all present in a polluted air? Dust, smoke, and gases like carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, then one more gas, ozone, which immediately surrounds the earth's surface, and also very small substances called particulate matter, which is 2.5 micrometers or 10 micrometers in diameter. Less than this diameter in size also causes air pollution. Then because of air pollution, what are all the disadvantages? There are two categories. One is called short term exposure, which means only for some time if you are exposed to a polluted air, what consequences you have to face. And the next slide you will be learning long term exposure, which means repeatedly if you are living in a, say for example in cities, all people are always living in a polluted atmosphere, no? So what are the results of long term exposure to air pollution? That also we will be studying. In this slide we will be learning what are the short term consequences of air pollution or exposure to air pollution. If you are going to be exposed to air pollution only for some time, what all it may cause? It may cause, see it is given, even when you are exposed to air pollution for a short term, it may result in chest pain. Even in young children less than 14 years of age are reported to have chest pain because of short term exposure to air pollution, and tiredness. The children are facing tiredness than the normal level, and inflammation, as we have studied in bronchitis, asthma, all your respiratory tract is inflamed, and also allergies also you will get because of air pollution. And then wheezing, that is you cannot breathe properly, and sore throat. Sore throat means you will have pain in the throat, and nausea means feeling like vomiting. You will not vomit actually, but you will have the feeling that you have to vomit. Vomiting sensation you will get because of exposure to air pollution. And children less than 14 years of age, if they are exposed, their lung development will become very poor. Their lungs will not be developed properly in their growing ages. So short term exposure will result in chest pain, tiredness, inflammation of your respiratory tract, allergies, wheezing, sore throat, nausea, and poor lung development. So these are all the results of short term exposure to air pollution. Okay, then what will happen if you are exposed to air pollution for longer time? So imagine, even in shorter time exposure, the person has chest pain and so much of problems. What will happen if the person is exposed to long term, for a longer duration to air pollution? Chronic bronchitis will occur. What is chronic bronchitis? I told you, no, throughout the lifetime the person will may be having bronchitis, which is so dangerous even for his life. And also asthma, already we have studied asthma is breathing difficulty along with mucus. And then pneumonia and TB infections are also easily attacking the people who are exposed to air pollution for a longer time. And emphysema, see emphysema is a condition where your respiratory passage is thickened so much, and also the mucus developed inside the respiratory tract is very thick. It is so thick that the person cannot even breathe. So that condition is called emphysema. And then cardiac problems means heart problems the person will have. And also lung cancer. What is cancer? Cancer is some extra growth. So rapid multiplication of cells. Than the normal, the cancer cells will multiply very fast. So there are lump-like structures in the lungs. The person may get cancer. So that is called lung cancer. Can also happen when a person is exposed to air pollution for a longer duration. So what all we have studied? Chronic bronchitis, asthma, pneumonia, TB, emphysema, cardiac problems and lung cancer are the symptoms of long-term exposure to air pollution. Then there is also one more factor, indoor air pollution. What we imagine only when we go outside we get air pollution, we are thinking, right? But inside the house itself we get air pollution. How? Using naphthalene balls. Have you seen this? For keeping cockroaches away, we use these balls, naphthalene balls. So this is a pollutant. And then the paint and wood polish what we use all know, that is also causing air pollution. That is something unnecessary existing in the air, right? When you paint your house all, you can feel the smell, the extra unnecessary smell which will affect your respiratory tract. So paints also is considered as air pollutant. And then allergens, mold and dust. Mold all sometimes during rainy season all in the walls of your washroom you will get some black spots, no? Even in kitchen you can get, if you don't clean regularly you will get, that is called as mold, which is a fungi. We have studied, no? Mold is a fungi. That is also a severe allergen to children especially. And tobacco smoke. What is tobacco smoke? People smoke, no, cigarettes, all it is tobacco smoke. And cooking fuel, sometimes you cook with wood all, no, in house some people may cook with wood, that is also generating smoke, and that is once again air pollutant. So these are all indoor pollutants. And occupational hazards. What is occupation in forms, all application forms or any school forms also? You must have read this word occupation. What is your father's occupation? Occupation means what job or work your father does, like that. Okay. So while doing some work for an employee, certain diseases can happen because of air pollution. 3 examples are given. The first disease is called silicosis. Silicosis is a disease which a person gets who works in making pots, pottery. So pot making, no? Pot making and even ceramic plates all we use at home, no? So people who work in making pots or in making ceramic materials, they get a disease called as silicosis, which is again a respiratory disease. The person has difficulty in breathing. And people who work in making asbestos sheet, these sheets, no, and those people get a disease called asbestosis. And people who work in cotton mills, see, one small particle of cotton fiber, if it enters into our nose itself, we have not breathing difficulty, we have uneasiness, right? We cannot even breathe comfortably. So imagine when a person works in a cotton mill, repeatedly he will be exposed to cotton fibers and it leads to a disease called as bicyanosis. Okay, so people who work in cotton mills gets this disease. All of them are again respiratory diseases which results in breathing difficulty, and in severe cases it may even lead to death because of shortness of breath. Shortness of breath means the person will not get sufficient air into his lungs. Okay. So these are all about the occupational hazards. By doing a job also a person gets air pollution, like that it means. For your homework in your next class you will have an online test in your biology book. Read from pages 65 to 75 and you are going to have a test. Clear? So that is all for today's class, and until I meet you in your next class, you all take care and bye bye.